Have you ever come across raid farms that were way too fast or frustratingly slow for your needs? What if I told you this raid farm hits a sweet spot, offering incredible rates for its simplicity? Or even explain how it works later in the video, but first, let's see what I'm talking about. I'm just going to explain how the raid farm works and everything you need to know and how to set it up and all the important information later in the video. So let's get right to it. So here we have the raid farm and we enter through the front here. And then what you want to do is spawn a bot in the composter. Just like so. And you want to make sure he's in survival as well. And what you want to do is close the trap door. And so what he'll do is he'll attack the armor stand here every 20 game ticks, and then what that will do is it will cause this second armor stand to jump up and down. Because it's been aligned in a way, it can collide with this pressure plate. Let's just demonstrate. And so what that does is it'll trigger these two pistons. So I'll explain out what this one does. So when it extends, nothing will happen, but when it retracts, it will power this block here, and that will send a signal to the side and triggering the pistons. That will just ensure that the raiders are in the correct position when they are side and down itself. And then from the side here, it will go into the middle, across the middle here, and then up to the top to these fence gates. And what this does is it just ensures that the raiders don't fall down at the one times, and it will just only open when they should get down itself. And then we also pull the signal through from the side down to these pistons. What these will do will just push the trapdoors backwards and forwards. I'll explain more about that later on. Then if we go to the other side, this piston will extend, powering this block, and that will send a signal all the way up to here, depowering this torch, which will cause these side pistons to retract. And what that does is it will side excel all the raiders. And then we got the top sign bar that will down excel all the raiders. What actually happens is both of these pistons as well as the top piston up here actually gets triggered at the same time, but because of this extra little bit here with the powering of the rails, and then we bud the top line bar, what we're doing is we're scheduling this piston to fire in the next phase tick. What actually happens is they both go off at the same time, but this technically goes first before they are down excelled. And that's very important for the reliability of the farm. And then what we have here is we have slabs here that prevents any slime spawns. What I mean by that is when the piston retracts, it would be in the position and any mods would be able to spawn here, so we prevent that by placing slabs right here. And then the reason we bud the piston with a redstone block here is to side excel the ravages out into the portal as fast as possible to reduce the lag. And then any ravages with riders on top will collide into this water and get ejected into the portal, and the trapdoor just ensures that they stay within the portal and then teleport to the nether as well. And then the piston here would retract, then the signal through to the side, triggering the pistons just like the other side, and then it'll come across down here, and then it would push the trapdoors back into position after they've been pushed from this side. And the last thing is, when this piston is extended, it will power this net block, which will quasi power this dropper here, which is detected by these two observers, and that will trigger this trapdoor, which will close on the wall, completing the wall shape. So if I demonstrate, if I just power this trapdoor, you'll see the wall got updated, and that will send a signal all the way down instantly. And what that does is it will trigger these villager pods here. So this part is the stacker. So we just detect the wall change, send a signal through, powering this piston to extend and retract. And what that does is it will push one of these workstations up and down so that they refresh the jobs every 20 game ticks, and that's what causes the stacking raid farm. So we have 3 villages here, and we have 3 pods of the same, just like that. And then we have one last villager here, the 10th one. This is like the central raid spot. And then we have the most important part of the farm. And what this does is, if we turn on the chunk borders, we can see this cube is within the border, but it's also sub-chunk aligned as well. So if we go to one of the corners, like this one here, if you're standing on the corner and it shows 000, that means you have aligned this farm perfectly and it should work for you. Let's go to the nether now. And this is it for the nether. You just literally need a portal just like that. You can have it here or on the roof if you want. And then what you need to do is you need to go at least 128 blocks away. So if you're, let's say if you're on the roof, you could just go in any direction, but I just like to go to the top, and then I'll just literally spawn a bot here. And what this does is when the mobs go through the portal, they will instantly despawn because this bot is outside the sphere, so they'll instantly despawn. That will reduce the lag massively, so that's very important. You have a bot in the nether side. Let's begin with the farm. So if you pasted the schematic, or if you're building it in survival, what you need to do is to make sure the armor stand is done correctly, so that you will have to reset it when you first build it or when you paste the schematic. So what we'll do is just get rid of the lava and a couple of blocks here. We'll get rid of the pressure plate and the glass block right there, and then what we want to do is get a dispenser, place it right here, and then just put a glass block, and then we just put the armor stand back in there, and then we'll just power that dispenser just like so. And then what we want to do is to make the bot attack once, and what that will do is it will push the armor stand across into the grindstone, which will align the armor stand correctly. And now what we want to do is get rid of this solid block here and just place the glass underneath, and then we want to push the glass into the armor stand like so, and then we want to break the piston first and place the block back, and so it should be perfectly aligned now. And then we want to place the pressure plate back here just like that, and then we can just make the raid attack once, make sure it's all good. Yep, okay. And then what I also like to do is to make him attack interval 20, and then I can actually test the farm. So you see the farm is working fine, that's great. What I like to do is just get a pillager out, spawn him in. If he dies on the first attack, then everything is good. If you find that he doesn't die and he just jumps up and down and then dies on the next attack, then you need to redo the armor stand. So to start the farm, what you need to do is make sure you got a bot in the nether and a bot in the composter. Important you have the strength 2 and regeneration. The middle one doesn't really matter too much. What you want to do is either give the raid bot the Baderman, or you come in, fly into the composter with the Baderman effect. So we'll just give the bot Baderman. So you'll see the raid bar at the top there, and then what you want to do is attack once. So we'll make the bot attack once, just like so, and that will just set off the stacker once, so that will start the raid. We should see it in any moment. There we go. So all the raids will spawn here. We'll just give it like 20 seconds or so. You just want to make sure all the raids spawn first before you continue attacking. Okay, and then we just make the raid attack interval 20. And then boom. Ah, yes. You also need to make sure you place lava back here. So you get rid of the dispenser you had here and place the lava there. That's very important. If you find that the other raiders survived, then you need to reset the armor stand again. So yeah, as you can see, the raiders will slowly start coming in. I'll just tick warp real quick. So it's at full speed. So this is how it should look like. All the raiders will just come in. They get attacked. The pistons will push the trapdoors. So let's see this in slow motion. What happens is the raiders will fall down onto the trapdoor. They land technically on the drip zone. They take damage. And then 11 game ticks later, they get attacked by the bot here. The items and the experience is pushed to the side, just like so. And then the items will just fall down into the water collection, and the experience will rise towards the player, but because there is lava here, it will burn most of them. That's to prevent lag. And then for the storage, you can just add it anywhere you want. I recommend that you don't use a player for this raid farm because there are no safety features installed in this farm. So when you stop the farm, what will happen is more raids will continue spawning for a little bit. Let's log the TPS. So what you'll notice as well, the lag will massively increase by quite a bit, and what you have to do is just wait this out. They will auto entity cram, and that will make the lag go back down. And then if I just demonstrate, if I open this, all the raiders will actually see the bot, so this would happen, and obviously you don't want that. So that's why I do strongly recommend against using player mode, is because it's not safe. You could technically just have like a bunch of totems in your hand and try and escape. So let's say you are in here, you would have to use your fist to break the armor stand. You open a trapdoor, shift to get out, and just like fly out as fast as possible. possible. This raid farm only works with carpet mod installed. If you have carpet mod installed on your client, then this will work on your single player. But for servers, the server owner needs to install the carpet mod into the server itself for it to work, so that you can use the commands and bots. The thing with carpet mod is that it's 100% guaranteed, so that when you use the attack command, it will attack consistently at the right times, even with lag. So if there is lag, the carpet mod can see that and it will attack accordingly. Whereas with an auto clicker, it can't detect that. So when the game lags, it would slow down the game a bit, and then you would attack at the wrong times, which will mess up the entire farm. So yes, this will not work with auto clicker. You can't do that. You have to use carpet mods. Now I want to give out a huge thank you to Nash for helping me with this raid farm. I spent like a couple months working on it, and I got the whole concept working, but I just couldn't get it 100% reliable. And so Nash came to the rescue. He attached the sucker for me. I did some modifications, and then he helped me redesign the whole wiring and made it 100% safe and reliable. So do check him out in the description. I hope you've learned something there, and I hope you enjoyed the farm. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around.